Hello and welcome back to Clicks on the Side. And today we are coming at you with our very early legacy predictions for the upcoming Heroclix set, Lantern Legacy. I am very much looking forward to this set and all of the legacy possibilities for it. I've actually been slowly preparing for this video for quite some time, and I have most of the figures that I want to have just in case. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is to go buy Lantern Core, as I think that's the more likely way, as we're going to get probably at least one of each lantern. We're going to start off with the Indigo Tribe, and I honestly could not think of any of the Indigo Tribe members to use other than Indigo 1. I know we just got one from Batman Team Up when I do have it, but I do think the Indigo Tribe might get bypassed with the legacy treatment, unless I did think maybe John Stewart, but his dial from War of Light was just not that great. Maybe Monk, but even then, if it was legacy, I wouldn't want it per se. I know there was a really good Sinestro at one point, and I do believe we are getting a Sinestro, just not in the Indigo Tribe. So no representatives from the Indigo Tribe here today. Having said that, let's start off with the Star Sapphires. I do have a couple of options for the Star Sapphires. My first one I do not have yet. I waited to get her because she's my least... I think she's the least likely, because we did just get one in Batman Team Up. I'm talking about the Fatality Rare from the War of Light set. She's got a decent dial, low points already. I feel like there is something you can do with her. She should be coming in here in the next couple days. Got her just in case, but I don't think she's as likely. I think that one of these two are actually going to be more likely fit. Starting off with the from the Wonder Woman set, we are looking at rare number 40, Star Sapphire herself. Does have 2 starting clicks, decent combat values throughout, so she could be a very cheap option if they didn't want to make a whole new Star Sapphire for this set. There we go. I think she's 6 clicks deep. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, 6 clicks deep. Not much you can do with her point value wise. She's pretty much already in her sweet spot between, that's a 60 and a 25. So I guess you could get her down to a 50 and a 25, maybe a 20. But I think there's a decent possibility that this Star Sapphire could see the legacy treatment. If not this one, we will probably get one from a different set. This is just the one with the dial I thought was more relevant to today's game. But my first choice when it comes to the Star Sapphires of who I think should get the legacy card treatment comes from the Darkest Night set. That's not right. The Blackest Night. The Blackest Night set. Number 7 from that special set, Wonder Woman. The sculpt is still pretty good, especially for its age. Love that it has the translucency there. And I could not think of another lantern set to try to get Wonder Woman in on, other than black, and we already have that in modern rotation with the Black Lantern Wonder Woman chase. She was 215 points back in the day. There we are. Has decent combat values throughout still. There you see, has a 10, 10, 17, and 4 starting off. And she keeps going. She has 10 total clicks. For a figure that old, that is insane. See, I believe that is the last click. Well, it does not want to focus. Last click there. The 7 and the 8 leave something to be desired, but you do at least have range combat expert with a range of 8. So our last couple clicks are very weak. With the age of the figure, I'm not that surprised. But still, the fact that she has a 17 impervious to start off with a 4 prob, and she keeps that 17. Oh, there we go. That's click 4, 5, 6, 7 clicks in. She still has her 17. So very, very usable piece in my opinion. Plus, with this sculpt, it deserves to see a little bit of play once again in my humble opinion. So that is Wonder Woman from the Blackest Night set. Moving on, let's go into some of the more popular colors. We're going to look at the Green Lantern Corps. I have 3 options here for our Green Lanterns, and they are all actually from DC's Elseworlds set. So the ones I picked probably won't surprise you terribly if you are familiar with that set. We're going to start off with rare number 31. We are looking at the Green Lantern of Gotham. Not to be confused with Green Lantern Batman. This is the Green Lantern of Gotham. It was his own standalone book, if I do remember correctly. Range is 7, 6 clicks long, but all of the combat... Come on, play nice. There we go. All the combat values are still relevant. There's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Even range combat expert on the last click to give you a 10 for 3. ESD with that 18, very, very nice. Definitely a serviceable piece. Was 105 points back in the day, so a little pricey. You'll probably want to get him down to at least 75. But I could definitely see the Green Lantern of Gotham getting the legacy treatment. So if we have the Green Lantern of Gotham, it only stands to reason that we would also get rare number 32 from Elseworlds, the Green Lantern of Krypton. That's right, if Superman, Kal-El, had the ring, has flight, a range of 7, 2 starting dials so you can play with that, running shot pin side with a special damage power that you can play around with, ESD, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, I'm sorry, that's 6. Does have 7 clicks total. And you even have a special movement power that you can play with there with some perplex. His point values will have to come down from that, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely workable. Say go there, you say 75 points even. Not bad, especially if the Green Lantern team ability stays the same. I thought I heard rumors about it changing. I haven't seen anything official. But yeah. The Green Lantern of Krypton, that one just makes sense to me as well. But perhaps the one I'm most excited for the Green Lantern Corps is a very different take on the Green Lantern. We are looking at super rare number 42 Green Lantern. I don't remember. Was this... I can't remember if this was the Tana or if this was Nico. It was one of the two, and I do apologize. I cannot remember which one. But it was... I wouldn't be surprised if it was Nico, just by the fact that it was Elseworlds. Anyway. It's not going to do much damage. This was definitely very much a support piece. Only 4 clicks long. And its main power was in its traits when it had to do with friendly characters getting KO'd. So if they were able to do something with that again, bring her down to say, I don't know, 30 points or so. The sculpt alone is amazing and deserves a legacy figure, a legacy card. I mean, I love what they did. If it'll, there you go, with that lantern there on the end of her staff. Just always was fond of this sculpt, and I just held on to it. So really hoping that it does get the lantern legacy treatment in the upcoming set. So those are my picks for the green. Let's move on to... Let's go with the yellow. We're going to go with the Sinestro Corps. Who do I think should get a legacy card in from the Sinestro Corps? First up, I would have actually liked to have seen the Prime version get him from the Batman team-up set, but as rare as we've only seen it once where Prime gets a legacy card, and I'm actually saving that for a different Lantern Corps. I think we are going to see the uncommon Scarecrow from the Harley Quinn set. Now, I also wouldn't be surprised if we just get a new Yellow Lantern Scarecrow altogether. But this one does have flight and a decent dial throughout. Was 85 points, then get him down to 60 or 65. Very feasible still. 6 clicks long, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that last one does not want to. Yeah, 6 clicks long. Gets a little iffy there at the end. But he is an uncommon. Still has his mind control with a range of 6. Penetrating Psychic Blast to start off with ESD and Running Shot. He'd just be your basic legacy figure. Nothing too special there. Probably gets a Perplex like most Yellow Lanterns do, where you're able to perplex down an opponent's something, but it has to be negatively perplexed. If you're familiar with Sinestro Corps figures, that's a usual. Now for my next piece, this one just makes so much sense, and I'm glad to have found a War of Light figure that definitely deserves the legacy treatment, and that is the uncommon number 23 Mongol. The sculpt, to be fair, didn't hold up the greatest, but I do love that it has the translucency to it. It doesn't really scream Yellow Lantern Corps, but he very much is a member of the Sinestro Corps. Was 165 beefy points back in the day, so you're definitely going to have to bring that down. Does have flight, a range of 7. Starts off with charge, super strength, impervious with an 18, and a 4 damage with a special damage power, so lots you can do there. And then his dial is actually pretty deep. You got 2, 3, 4, 5, all those ones with a special damage power and close combat expert. 6 still has a 17 defense. 7 gets a special damage power but goes down to 16 defense, but gets flurry as well for 7 and 8. Yeah, 8 clicks long, decent dial throughout, even with today's standards. And it's not a character you think about too often, so I really think this Mongol has a decent chance of getting the legacy treatment. But he is not my favorite from the Sinestro Corps to get a legacy card. The obvious one is going to be, of course, Sinestro himself. But which one? I believe it has been confirmed from the WizKids shop that the play-at-home kit will have a legacy Sinestro card in it. It's just a matter of which Sinestro it'll be for. Based on just pure awesomeness of the sculpt, in my opinion, and the fact that we have seen some WizKids exclusives recently get the legacy card treatment, including Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk, I feel like we have to get a legacy for the 2017 WizKids exclusive Colossal Sinestro. Now, full disclosure, mine's seen better days. We got some battle damage here from the kids knocking it off a table years ago. Never did find that piece, so there he is. This has been reattached, but I think I did a decent enough job that if I hadn't said anything, you may not have even noticed. But great dial throughout. He was very expensive point-wise back then, although he did have a 25-point dial. So 4 different starting clicks to work with. And I really think there's going to be at least one Colossal in this set when it comes to the legacy cards. So yeah, would very much love to see. Let's see if you can get a good look at him. That's about as clear as the Sinestro inside is going to get. But yeah, I would love to see this Sinestro get the legacy card treatment. All right, up next is probably going to be one of the most popular of the cores. Outside of the Green Lantern core, I think people are really hoping for some good legacies from the Red Lantern core. Now, I don't think this one's going to happen. I just really want it to. From the Superman and Wonder Woman set, one of the best, most coveted Red Lantern pieces created by WizKids. I would absolutely love it if they gave super rare number 53B Supergirl a legacy card. Even now, she still commands a pretty penny. That's just how much people loved this sculpt, this piece. You don't see it on the market very often. And I'd love people to be rewarded for holding on to her. She was 160 points back then, range of 5, has flight, starts off with super strength, charge, and 18 invincible with 4 damage with the special damage power, so you can do something with that. Odds are she'd have some sort of poison. That's just how the Red Lanterns roll. On click 3 goes down to impervious, but with 5 damage. It does not want to go. There we go. Click number 4. She is only 8. She does have 8. Oh, I'm thinking of a different piece. She does have 9 clicks total. Now, clicks 8 and 9 are a little suspect, but ideally, you're never going to get to there because this Supergirl has quite a few number of defenses to get through. So, especially being a prime, I can see them doing some extra trait things with her. Like I said, I don't expect it. I just really want that one. This next one I do expect to get the legacy treatment. I think this is the most likely core to get 2 legacy figures, 2 legacy cards. And I think you have to start with this one from the War of Light. Super rare number 50A. We are looking at the Spectre. This piece has been evading my collection for quite some time. I finally just bit the bullet and paid for him. Because I really think he's got a decent shot of being a legacy piece. He does, his cape's going to block it, but he was originally at 250 or 200 points. So have to work with that. But for that, you got 14 phasing teleport, 20 special attack, 18 impervious with 5 damage with probability control. Look at that, a range of 9 with 2 targets and giant sized. Not to mention, you see that Q back there for those of you new players. That is now known as Power Cosmic. Back then it was Quintessence. I'm not going to pronounce that correctly, but it is equivalent to Power Cosmic. There you see the dial throughout is completely solid. Being Spectre, you could totally give him some form of shape change. Actually, there's the shape change right there. Click number 7 has regen and shape change. Keeps that 17 defense all the way throughout. So lots of chances for him to come back if he does get hit. Prob on the top dial. Yeah, sculpt-wise alone, I'd really love to see the Spectre get the Lantern Legacy treatment. However, he is not, in my opinion, the most likely Red Lantern to get a legacy card. That distinction belongs to one figure and one figure only. And she is amazing and definitely deserving. If there's any piece that deserves a legacy figure in this set, it is this character. From the Harley Quinn set, Super rare number 59A, Harley Quinn. Just an amazing sculpt. I loved this one more than the Green Lantern version. I had the Yellow Lantern version as well, which was the rare prime. I don't see her getting in. And you'll see this one has seen better days, unfortunately, but she got smudged there. I'm not quite sure when that happened, but yeah, smudge on the name. She also suffered in that attack from my children, but we were able to fix her up. Was 200 points back in the day. That was her downfall. You didn't see her too often because she was 2/3 of your entire team. So if you get that point value down, range is 7 with 2 targets, has flight, starts off with a 10 hypersonic speed, 12 poison, 18 impervious, and a 4 perplex. And yeah, it doesn't really get too much worse from there. You end up getting some pin psi with a special movement and special damage power there. Now you have a special attack power to add into it. 7, 8 clicks deep. Yeah, I really, truly want this one. I feel like this is, if one was a no-brainer, this is the no-brainer to get a legacy card in this set. If she does not, I would be very, very surprised. Absolutely should get a legacy card in the Lantern legacy set. Moving on, we're going to move the Star Sapphires back a little bit. We're going to move to the Blue Lantern Corps. And with the Blue Lanterns, there is only one option, in my opinion, after reviewing the Blue Lantern figures, of who should get the legacy card. And he is also from the Blackest Night set. We are going with Blue Lantern, the Flash. Now, we have seen Blue Lantern, the Flash, as well in the Wonder Woman set as a chase, I believe. So I feel like this one would be the most likely of the two. There are a couple other Blue Lanterns out there, of course, but this dial just screams that it is ready for a legacy card. It also screams it needs cleaned. This one has been in storage for quite some time, so I do apologize. Does have a 14 hypersonic speed with a special attack power, super senses, and enhancement. Has the old school clicker here, so we're going to use this right here to, there we go. Keeps all those same powers there. Click number 3. Number 4, we do go down to 18 defend. And that's when you see him start to transition into a support piece. There's some probability control there. And here is full support. He has a 17 defend, a 9 TK, still has phasing teleport and probability control. And even on his last click, still is useful. Even though he's not going to pack a punch anymore, he can still phase teleport someplace where if you are needing a probability control, he can help you out. Was 140 points back in the day. If you got him closer to 70, 75 points, I'd love to see him get the legacy card treatment. I am so confident, in fact, that he should get a legacy card. I got a second one. Yep. Got this second one at a discount because his arm was off. We went ahead and did some Heroclix surgery. And you can probably see the sheen with the glue there on his shoulder. But good as new. I really think he is going to get the legacy card treatment. And I cannot wait to use him. That leaves us with 2 cores left. And going in with the White Lantern Corps. It might surprise you, I am not picking Kyle Rayner. I'm not picking Batman. I'm not picking Sinestro. For me, the right choice for a Lantern, for a legacy card for the White Lantern Corps is going to be from the Brightest Day mini set. I believe there were 7 in it. We are going to be looking at Deadman, who is not all that dead in this sculpt. 87 points back then, did have Mystics, a range of 6 with Flight. Decent combat values throughout, definitely more of a support piece. Had Phasing Teleport with Penetrating Psychic Blast, Combat Reflexes, and Leadership. You can't go wrong with some Leadership. That is going to be the trick. He's going to be hard to click. Has some special powers later on in the dial that you can play around with. If you are able to give him improved targeting through character bases, I think that will help with that Pinsai and combat reflexes. Excuse me, combat reflexes ability combination. But yeah, that is my choice for a White Lantern getting the legacy card treatment. And that leaves us with our last Lantern Corps, and we're looking at the Black Lanterns. We have Black Lanterns in Modern at the moment. We have those chases from Notorious. We have Black Lantern Swamp Thing that nobody can get their hands on from Masters of Time. This one is one that right now everyone can get their hands on, because if you go to the WizKids store and you look at it, let's say you have Lantern Legacy pre-order up on your screen, odds are somewhere on that screen this guy is going to be on there to be able to be ordered. Now, I am not saying that he's getting a legacy card in this set, but I would be very shocked at the way that they have been promoting for a Lantern Legacy and how he mysteriously ended up back on their store in stock right around the same time. I am talking about Black Lantern Anti-Monitor. This sculpt is amazing. It deserves to be played again. And I'm sorry, I forgot exactly how much they are looking for it on the WizKids shop, but it is available. And even if it doesn't get a legacy card treatment, it deserves to be picked up on the sculpt alone. Look at this guy. That is just intimidating, and I love it. The values on the dial are still pretty strong. Has a range of 10 with 2 targets. Does have 3 different starting lines. It was 900, 600, and 300 back in the day. So let's see. For 300 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, obviously something's going wrong there. Am I just going around in circles? Nope, I started off on the wrong starting click, so I do apologize about that. But at 300 points, there you go. There is the last dial, or the last click. 26 clicks deep. So lots that you can do with this figure. I feel like the possibilities for the Legacy are endless for what they could do with this guy. If they don't do it, it is a missed opportunity, in my opinion. So really hope they don't drop the ball with that. So those are my picks for Legacy figures. Those are my predictions, I should say, when it comes to the Lantern Legacy set. Now, having said that, I can also see WizKids going in one entirely different direction, and that is giving Legacy cards to no figures, but giving them to the Lantern Rings, both from the Team Up set and from the War of Light set. I don't, as much as I'd like them to just remake the rings, put them in the set, I just don't see them doing it again. And I remember something when the Lantern Legacy set was announced. I thought I remembered someone from WizKids saying, one of the promotional items saying, "Hold on to your rings," or something along those lines. So what their plan is with the actual objects of the Lantern rings, I do not know. But I would not put it past WizKids to make them the legacy items instead of any actual figures. I hope that's not the case. I would much rather legacies go towards the figures and then figure out something else with the rings. Even if the rings ended up being one-shots in some way. But here's hoping that they go the traditional route and that some of these guys and girls get the legacy treatment. So that's been it for me today. Let me know what you think. Are there any of these figures you think have a good chance of getting the legacy treatment? Is there any other Lanterns that you're looking forward to seeing getting a second shot at life? Definitely let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for joining me, as I know this has been a longer one. But thank you again. This has been Clicks on the Side.